Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of Freedom Friday here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I'm, as always, your host, AR the Ohio Patriot, and for today's Freedom Friday, we're going to talk about why everybody should be carrying at all times, as well as the crazy ass prices of Democrat ammo. And what I mean by that is, obviously, since Democrats are calling for gun bans everywhere, and ammo bans and mag bans and everything else like that. And dumbass by inflation, you've had ammunition shoot up like fucking crazy. Not to mention, there's insiders talking about how very real possibility there's actually stockpiles being held back to simply inflate the amount of money that ammo is going for these days. Which, the only reason to do that would be obviously greed and make a profit and stuff like that, and try to fuck with the supply and demand to basically falsely inflate the market as would be then. Meanwhile, it could be too as well that they're, gearing up to ship a bunch of shit overseas to various other nations with World War III on the horizon and everything else like that. But yeah, it should honestly not cost 20 bones for a fucking box of ammunition, which is what it cost me earlier today at a store. I went in there, thought I was buying something that cost like 10, 13 bucks, whatever it was. No, it was literally 20 fucking dollars for 20 rounds. And I'm like, that's fucking psychotic, dude. So, yeah, as it was, I ended up getting, wasn't interested in what I bought. It's the boat tail hollow points, apparently. I didn't realize I was grabbing those. Because when I went to the register, I'm like, they were like, told me what it was, and I'm like, what the fuck? So, yeah, and then it actually turns out that, like, the actual bullet is a hollow point in the middle. So, anyway, it's an interesting thing. It's like a 75 grain, if I'm not mistaken, comparing to a lot of the Winchester and stuff like that. It's like 55 grain or 62 grain. So, and I was actually looking at it, comparing it to something else I have, and you can tell there's like, it's like a slight difference between the two things. It's like millimeters difference, really, is what it is for the size of the bullet and whatnot. So, anyway, but yeah, just absolutely ridiculous entirely. And as I was talking to the cashier when I was checking out, she's like, "Oh, you find everything okay?" I was like, "No, y'all are out of the cheaper mags and stuff like that." And she's like, "Oh, well, there might be some over this place or whatever the case be." And I was like, "Yeah, I didn't see anything over there." So, yeah, and I'm guessing it's because everybody, the brothers, trying to gear up for what's coming now is what it is. Because now you got, ever since Lewiston this week, you've had Biden and other fucking retarded ass Democrats calling for assault weapons bans. Now you've had all these other idiots like Michelle Grimm here in Ohio, as well as that retard Cecil Thomas talking about red flag laws in the state of Ohio, which, by the way, that alone should see them out of office at this point, and in a fucking prison cell in the state of Ohio, and pretty much everybody else doing that right now should have the same fate for that matter, because a bunch of Democrats over in Pennsylvania also calling for red flag laws / assault weapons bans there, and it's like, I'm just like, I'm personally just so sick and tired of it, dude. Like, just go fuck off, tyrants. NEA went on a whole rant last night. It was pretty good. It was basically about how what was the Second Amendment really about is what it is. And he's right about that. It's about killing tyrants, legitimately. It's like, it's about literally killing tyrannical government. If government ever goes tyrannical enough to where it needs to be shot in the fucking face, that's what it was meant for. Legitimately. So, our founding fathers did it versus the Redcoats, British Empire, etc., and they fucking won this country is what it was, man. In their own day, they would have been declared terrorists. So, it makes sense now that you'd have the federal government, various op agencies and stuff like that, declaring myself and other people terrorists right now, simply because we're white Americans. But anyway, yeah, just absolutely ridiculous though. Price of ammo is insane. Everything I want, like, and the crazy part was, with the exception of what I grabbed there, everything else that was 5.56 on the shelf there was over $20 a box. And I'm just like, dude, what the fuck? And it makes sense why their shelves were full up at that point. Honestly, it kind of what it reminded me of, because there was a sign there too as well that was talking about how this, it was specifically said with the, how'd they put it now? It was with the increase in demand of 5.56 and 2.23. We are now limiting purchasing of these ammunitions to 10 boxes per person per day, or I think it was like one bulk pack of like a certain amount or something. And my thinking was, I'm like, well, the fact that you now have all this shit that's like, 20 bones a pop, like, dude, honestly, if I was sitting there buying 10 fucking boxes, I might as well throw like 20, 40, like 25, 40 more dollars in there and just go buy a fucking gun at that point, because that's about what it costs. So, anyway. Corey is in the house. What's up, buddy?
Going on?
Nothing. Fucking just talking about insane ammo prices. Went up to the local shop today and ended up grabbing a box of 5.56, and it was $20 fucking.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I mean, it is boat tail hollow points from Hornady, but still, I mean, like, that's just ridiculous dollar around. So, anyway.
MOC, it's the best place I found that's the cheapest.
Yeah. I was just, the only reason I was up there today, because it was a local place, was went to the chiropractor, and then they were having mag and ammo sales is what it was supposed to be. But yeah, all the shit was out of stock is what it was that I wanted to grab. So literally I was able to grab a Magpul mag at cost, and then this box of ammo, and it was like $40. So what can you do, man? Although that being said, there was like multiple people up there, I think about 8 or 9 in total I saw, that were buying various guns at 12 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday. So that really does show me like a lot of people just want to be armed right now is what it is. Because there's a couple that were older gentlemen with buying Glocks, and it seemed like they might have been first-time gun buyers, actually. So, which would make sense given the fact that, people see what's going on, see the mag bans being called for, see the red flag laws being called for, the AWBs being called for, etc. Democrats trying to steal people's gun rights again, and then it's like, yeah, crazy shit happens then. So, anyway. As it turns out, though, I do want to talk about something that happened a couple days ago when this all started first kicking off, which was you had this really dumbass bitch on Twitter claiming the following: families in Livingston can take comfort in knowing that despite this man being hospitalized for auditory hallucinations and threatening to shoot up the National Guard, his Second Amendment rights were not violated. And as it actually turns out, as we saw with the most recent up to this whole thing in Maine, this guy, in fact, was a prohibited person. So that dumb bitch's tweet aged like sour milk.
I don't know. Was he? Because I haven't really. Everything I keep seeing is contradictive.
This is what I say here. It says local, state, and federal law enforcement continue to search for this piece of shit. Information about the suspect continues to trickle out. So one important question has now been answered. Turns out he was prohibited from purchasing guns, and according to the state Bureau of Investigation, he was categorized as federal firearms disqualified status, though it remains unclear what law barred him from possessing a firearm. A list of Mainers who had their weapons confiscated through the state's yellow flag law does not appear to include his name. Spokesman for the state police did not respond to a message asking for clarification on why he was a prohibited person. It says SBI hasn't said anything beyond the basic information, so we don't know when the suspect was officially categorized as a prohibited person, but the most likely opportunity would have been earlier this summer when he was reportedly spent 2 weeks in an Army medical center in West Point, New York, after displaying erratic behavior during training sessions, etc. So, yeah, who knows? I'm gonna take my face value on that one.
I'm not. I still say this shit's all fucking fishy because the guy's still quote unquote on the loose.
Yeah,
they've done showed several pictures of that could possibly be him. None of which, in my opinion, look like the surveillance video.
Yeah, they all look kind of different.
They all look similar. Every single one of them, because the guy in the surveillance video has kind of an elongated head, where the guy that they're saying is him is got more of a rounded head. I mean, it's just, and the guy in the video looks a hell of a lot younger than the guy that's saying is him.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be a bait and switch kind of deal too, as well, for that matter. Who knows?
Yeah.
I found a picture of Honda's future wife the other day.
I saw that, yeah.
So here's my thing, right? Like, going to sort of like insanity is what it is. What really leads a person to go down that path where they're like, let me go get a bunch of facial tattoos and a shitload of nose piercings and think I'm good looking still?
They hate I don't think they think they're good looking. I think they hate their appearance, so they're
Like, that's the thing,
making
though,
their
'cause,
outer
like,
appearance seem like what they feel on the inside.
honestly, like, you take out all the nose rings, you take out that weird forehead tattoo and the cheek tattoos and stuff like that. Maybe even leave like part of the neck tattoo, and that girl's like 100% a good looking chick, honestly. So
I don't mind chicks with tattoos, but when you start covering the throat, the chest, the face, the neck, all of that, no, I don't care how hot you are, no.
this one's actually a pretty accurate meme for the day, which is David Hogg running to Twitter to capitalize on another shooting. Well, shooting himself.
I already put him on blast.
Oh, I fucking went off on his ass the other day. I'm gonna grab it real quick here, and we'll talk about this. So basically, dipshit Hogg, for those that don't know, went full retard the other day. And I don't know if this is before or after things happened in Maine. Knowing him, it was probably before even. He said, to be part of the well-regulated militia, you have to have thorough training, an interview process, a license, insurance, and registration. The same rules that apply to owning a car and having a license to drive should apply to owning a gun. To which my response was, hey, dipshit wannabe Hitler, you have no fucking clue what a well-regulated militia means. It meant having a functioning firearm and being ready at a moment's notice to deal with the British Empire. Also, you don't have a constitutional right to drive, fuckhead. So, and that's why I can't stand about these people all the time. Like, they're always sitting there talking about, like, oh, driving and licensing and vehicles and shit. It's like, dude, you don't actually have a constitutional right to drive, period. Cars did not exist back then. Even if they did, you probably wouldn't have a constitutional right to drive. So, anyway. Then we got this one here from Bearing Arms, which was...
I don't know if you heard me, but that's what I put. I said too, because I told him you're comparing apples to oranges. You're trying to say that it's a right to drive. No, motherfucker, it's a privilege. That's why you have to have a driver's license, and you have to do this, that, and the other to prove that you can drive, because it's not a right, it's a privilege. And whereas you were saying about guns in 2A, that's a God-given right.
Yes, it is.
One that you're born with. So, no, you're a fucking moron.
And then we got this one. Ohio bill's loophole, not the issue, some allege. So there's a bill going through our General Assembly right now here in Ohio that would basically add, quote-unquote, courthouses to places you can carry. The thing is, it's not actual courthouses. It would be like a multi-functioning center that happens to function as a courthouse or something sometimes. And as I said here, it said, Bruin decision found, among other things, that various governments could ban guns in certain sensitive places, in part because that was something done at the time of Second Amendment ratification. One of those places being courthouses, yet what about places where a court is held, but so are other activities? Ohio has that problem in a new bill they're trying to address. Problem is, the way the bill is written, some figure it opens the door for a whole lot more. So this all stems from a Lebanon City Council, which passed an ordinance allowing residents to carry guns into the city building. Some residents filed a lawsuit against this, but as of spring 2023, what? Oh, Leo's here. Am I roboting?
Nope.
Okay. So as of spring 2023, a judge sided in favor of the city. said in many of the smaller communities, some stewardship of taxpayer dollars often means a single-purpose building or village hall. City Hall may house a tax department, electric department, city chamber or council chambers, and a room that sometimes functions as a courthouse. Once a city votes to approve that, anyone with a concealed carry permit could bring a firearm into a building as long as the court is in session. It was originally designed to allow multi-purpose centers that have a court a few times a week to allow guns as long as it isn't designated solely as a courthouse at the time of happening. It says, however, when local affiliates identified a possible loophole in the bill that could allow individuals to carry firearms into actual courthouses, not just buildings that hold court, not only would this allow some people, most likely in rural areas that have smaller government, to bring guns to city council sessions, but it could have a greater impact on court cases, allowing to, according to Lou Tubin, with the Processing Attorneys Association, said, yes, you can carry concealed weapons into a building. Said about legislation, said State House reporter Margaret Trow asked Tubin and numerous bipartisan legal experts if it is possible to bring guns into courthouse as long as it has other purposes, like city executives have offices there or marriages are performed in the building. They agree that it would be feasible. So, yeah, they're basically just trying to make a fucking mountain out of a molehill is what it really is.
Sounds like it.
So, I'm just fucking sick and tired of it. And then, of course, you got, like I said yesterday, fucking that dumb bitch Michelle Grimm's trying to pull some shit. Here's what it is. She's a total Monster Man Action member. She was bought and paid for by the group. Pretty sure she was actually one of their group before she became a state legislator is what it was. So.
Would not surprise me.
Then we got all kinds of other crazy shit happening. Obviously, you got anti-gun activists, politicians waste no time in exploiting Lewiston murders for their own bullshit.
Yeah, that fucking speech that Kamala gave.
Multiple new calls for Sultan's bans.
Saying that Australia did it, we can too. Shut the fuck up, you dumb cunt.
Yeah, Kamala Harris touts Australian gun confiscation as example for U.S. to follow. Okay, you going over your shit first then?
What are you talking about? She ain't got nothing.
No, I'm saying her armed security is what it would be then.
True.
Like disarm your security.
Yep. It's only befitting.
I thought this one was pretty good here. I'm going to go jump on the barrier.
You're not above the law.
If gun control works so well, explain full auto switch's popularity. Exactly.
Oh, you mean the ones that they put in play for them?
Yep.
Allegedly?
Yep. Then we got oral arguments. The Third Circuit, New Jersey carry killer case for preliminary injunction. Will Liberty Bell ring for the injured? I'm not even sure what that one's about. You can check that out. Let's see. Morning of October 25th, 2023 had the wisps of an Indian summer, and the Philadelphia air was neither crisp nor warm. Oral arguments for the combined cases of Siegel versus Plutkin and Coons versus Plutkin were heard. For preliminary injunction in the Third Circuit Court of Appeals, two cases are challenges to New Jersey's so-called carry killer Bruin response law that was enacted last December. Proceedings were held in the James A. Bruin Courthouse in 601. Okay. Let's see. Right near Liberty Bell Center.
It's all Leo's fault.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically it's just about the New Jersey BS bill that is an unconstitutional piece of shit, basically. So, let's see what else we got on here. Newsom's gun control amendment going nowhere. That's good. We got ICP versus Alabama and gun owners implicate right to privacy. We got anti-gun fuckstick Jarrett Golden lavishes all the anti-gunners lavish praise on this moron for now flip-flopping on gun control to be like, oh, I totally support assault weapons bans now. It's like you always did, dude. You just didn't want to get not reelected is what it was.
You know, how ironic would it be if it was Binger who was the
killer?
Yeah, in Maine. I'm trying
losing,
to phrase it
losing the Kyle Rittenhouse case to send him over the edge finally once and for all.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised by it.
Because that's, like I was saying yesterday, I think it was the day before yesterday, that surveillance video looks like, a lot like him.
It does. Half of stolen guns in some part of Washington state were taken from cars. It's not surprising. Just a good reason not to leave your gun in the car, honestly. Let's see. Then we got St. Louis County Sheriff, County Chief backs open carry restrictions because he's a douchebag. Armed citizen holds murder suspect at gunpoint until police arrive. I'm guessing that was in a different state. Let's see. Yep, Alabama. Let's see. New name, same mission as Women for Gun Rights holds DC fly-in. Is that what they're calling themselves now? Let's see. Oh, DC Project. Okay. It's now Women for Gun Rights. That's kind of a silly name change, honestly. So, yeah, let's see if anything else is on here. Oh, this is actually a good one from a couple days ago. Guess what happened to violent crime rates after Ohio adopted constitutional carry? They went way the fuck down.
It multiplied by 10 billion.
No, they seriously went way the fuck down. That being said,
no, I know they did. That's what they said about Texas
I'm a little
too.
bit. I'm like a little bit hesitant on that one though to say that because of the fact that when they were using that stat, they were using it from the physical end year of 2022, which would have been December of this past year, when we only had constitutional carry for less than 6 months at that point.
Yeah.
So,
well, they said the same thing about Texas. You know,
even
when they gave us our open carry permits. Oh my God, blood's gonna run in the street, crime's gonna explode. They were saying the same exact thing when Texas got constitutional carry a couple years ago. Oh my God, blood's gonna run in the street. You know, crime's gonna explode. Fuck you. No, it didn't.
I really wish this one wasn't behind a paywall because I would actually be reading it. Which is that 2A advocates sound off on Ohio marijuana referendum. Yeah, it should be a Graham Act, period.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have our rights restricted because we want to smoke a bowl or eat a weed gummy or something like that.
No.
There's one I wanted to talk about here. There we go.
But yeah, they should just do that shit federally. Or get it over with. And there's somewhere that's fighting right now. There's some case that just because they have smoked or whatever, they're trying to get their rights back.
There's a bunch of different ones like that across the country. There's also a domestic violence one that's in the Supreme Court right now.
I know about that one, but I thought there was one about marijuana too.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like there might have been. Just can't remember the actual case offhand if there was. I'm trying to grab something.
It's only going to get worse before it gets better.
Yes, it is.
You're awful quiet, Leo. Did you fall asleep?
No, I'm right here.
Yeah, this is the one I want to talk about right here. This is MDA at its worst right here, honestly. Because it's them colluding with CNN and other shithole mainstream media. CNN claims 525 mass shootings happened in 2023 using misleading data. It says, we're covering Wednesday shooting in Lewiston, Maine. CNN pointed to misleading data and claimed that there were 525 mass shootings so far this year.
And that's false because they're inflating their numbers or padding their data because they calculate in or factor in shootings that involved 1 to 19-year-olds.
Exactly. Well, it's also from the Gun Violence Archive, which is a leftist-run site, basically.
Yeah, which is derived from something else that's a left.
Yeah, it's basically straight from MDA that goes through some other shit, and then they claim it's like some independent crap or whatever. Then,
Yeah, and it's
As
not.
Breitbart previously explained that the figures from Gun Violence Archive are reached in part by changing the definition of mass shooting, thereby allowing drive-by incidents to be considered double and triple homicides, gang violence, and other such crimes to be counted as mass shooting events. I forget what it used to
That's
be
another
then.
thing. Gang violence is another one that's a huge one that they factor in their numbers.
There used to be something that before they called it gun violence, and I'm trying to think what it was now. My mind keeps blanking on the old definition. It was mentioned like a couple weeks ago at somebody else's cast, and my mind is completely blanking. I don't know what I'm thinking it used to be called, because it wasn't even the phrase violence. It was just like something about like homicide, something or whatever. Anyway,
I don't remember.
Yeah, Gun Violence Archive counts. Yeah, okay, we talked about it. Yeah, it says April 2021, the RAND Corporation observed the standard for mass shooting was derived from the FBI's 1980 definition as a mass murderer, as an individual who kills 4 or more people in a single incident, not including themselves. Therefore, 4 or more deaths in a single incident by a single gunman was the working definition of mass shooting. But the Gun Violence Archive's approach departs from what was the standard, using a much lower threshold for qualifying incidents as mass shootings, thereby allowing a higher number of such incidents to be reported as such. So, example, October 28, 2022 incident, the GVA lists as a mass shooting took place at a funeral of a 20-year-old Pittsburgh man. There was no fatalities in the incident, and police are not certain how many gunmen opened fire, because it was really gangbanging retaliation stuff is what it was. This is moreover when police commander Richard Ford was asked about the violence was gang related. He responded, "Obviously, we believe there's a dispute going on, and that's what we're looking for." So although there are no fatalities and who knows how many shooters, the incident occurred in a location where police think gang dispute was going on. Gun Violence Archive counted this as a mass shooting. So while covering the shootings in Maine, CNN praised Gun Violence Archive, claiming for all its data background, the Gun Violence Archive's work is, at its heart, basic journalism. Jesus Christ. What a fucking joke. Yeah, let's see here. We got good old...
Yeah, I wonder if they
Tyler.
actually went back to their original meaning of mass shooting, took out all the skewed bullshit, how many would actually pop up?
Like 10, maybe a year at most, even. Then we got stupid bitch. New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham wants more gun control after Maine shootings. Michelle Lujan Grisham reacted to Wednesday night's firearm-based attacks in Maine by calling for more gun control. Said Grisham has been in the news recently for issuing an order banning concealed carry, even by licensed concealed carry holders in larger New Mexico cities like Albuquerque. Her order banned the open carry of firearms as well. She issued the order on September 8, 2023. District Court Judge blocked 13th. She then reworked the order, limiting the ban on concealed carry to parks and playgrounds, and her order was allowed to stand. Now she is citing the attacks in Maine as she pushed for more gun control, saying, and I quote, "I'm praying for the families and friends, family and friends of the victims in the Maine shooting, and for the quick apprehension of the suspect. We need to know how the person had access to the firearm and enact appropriate common sense gun laws to prevent these tragedies. This cannot continue." No, your governorship cannot continue, you dumb cunt. Fucking. That's what pisses me off about these cops, is they're not doing their job to remove these fucking unconstitutional governors from office right now.
Nope, but that should lock your ass up quick in a hurry.
Oh yeah, they tried it back on August 12th, 2019. And they failed hard. So
next time, boys.
That's what they told me. They're like, "Oh, if we come out here again, you're definitely walking out in handcuffs." It's like, well, get the fuck on my property now, bitch. So, anyway. I swear to God, these people are something else, man. You got Democrat Rep Pingree. People don't hunt with, quote, military-style assault weapons with multiple ammunition with it. It's not meant for hunting, you fucking idiot.
And plus, they do hunt with it anyway.
Well, exactly.
But that's a side thing.
Exactly. That's besides the point. The point of the whole thing was to take down tyrants initially. It's just stupidity at all fronts, honestly. Just dumb people being dumb. And of course, you got, speaking of dumb people being dumb, we got good old AOC praises Maine's Jaron Golden for calling for assault rifle ban. God, she is such a fucking idiot. Yeah. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez praised Representative Jaron Golden from Maine for coming out in support of assault rifle ban on Thursday following Wednesday's mass shooting after he had previously opposed a ban. More like he figured out he could actually get reelected on such a thing, and that's why he's trying to do such a thing now, is what it is.
Yeah, instead of actually looking at the facts and everything, they're going off fear-mongering and just
exactly
spreading more fucking fear. Like, any fucking gun control they could institute ever is going to stop anything.
I wish the Supreme Court would just end this debate already.
And we got Maine State Rep Austin Turrett, I think is how I pronounce the guy's name, a NASCAR driver who is running to unseat Golden in the district, said in a post on X/Twitter that he is unfortunate and frustrating that Golden and President Biden would try to score political points by attacking the Second Amendment. Let's see what else he said there.
But that would require the Supreme Court actually doing their fucking jobs for once instead of putting stays on shit or bouncing it back down to lower fucking courts and just playing ping pong with the fucking topic.
Yeah, let's see. This guy said, unfortunate, frustrating. At this time of tragedy, Jaron Golden and Biden would try to score political points by attacking Second Amendment. When I am in Congress, I will defend every law-abiding citizen's Second Amendment rights. For decades, we have failed to invest in the people who are struggling the most, and we are seeing the consequences of our political inaction. This Austin guy said, I'm calling for the largest ever investment in mental health care and access to the country has ever seen. The need is clear. The manhunt for the shooter is ongoing, but the details available make it clear that the suspect has severe mental health issues, and there was likely a failure from the mental health stuff in place. We need to keep dangerous people off the streets. There will be other lessons and other policies that we could consider in the wake of this crime, but infringing on regular citizens' Second Amendment rights is not the answer. This failure comes with a cost. The situation is brutal and has shaken our state to a core. That's why we need to fix the problem, not spend time going after the Second Amendment. Exactly.
And you say you got to have a case for the Supreme Court to act.
Well, and that's the thing, too. And it's the same thing with red flag laws. The only reason that red flag laws haven't gone to the Supreme Court at this point is because it's always poor people getting hit with them. It's people like myself or Corey or you, Leo, that we can't afford to actually do anything. And the worst thing is, because they're not considered criminal cases, you're not automatically given a lawyer by default. You have to either go be your own lawyer or pay out of pocket to get a lawyer. And that's why you have all these dudes down in Florida right now for the past 3.5 some odd years now, since they've enacted that shit after Parkland, that have been fighting their own way through the court system down there and trying to get their rights restored over some bullshit they said in like a fucking Call of Duty game where he's like, oh, I'm going to come over and shoot your ass for real or something like that, And there's been many kids that have had that happen to them too, for that matter. There's like 13, 14-year-old kids down there that said some shit about like, it was basically them being egged on by somebody in one of those games. And the kid's like, oh, I'll just shoot you later or something like that, or like some stupid off the cuff remark kind of thing like that or whatever. And yeah, boom, fucking cops at their door the next day is what it was. And now their parents are having to fight to get their rights restored and shit. So, just absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
But at least you have this one, though, which is bowling alley where the main attacker fatally shot 7 people is in fact a gun-free zone. I'm not surprised by that at all.
Of course.
Yeah, so allegedly shot and killed 7 people, has a sign on the front door announcing the premises are a gun-free zone. Location formerly known as Spartime Recreation is now Just-in-Time Bowling Alley, John Lott Jr.'s Crime Prevention Research Center. Noted that the sign says, quote, "We kindly ask that you refrain from bringing firearms into this building, and we would appreciate it if you left them in your vehicle. Please keep our atmosphere family friendly." Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah.
How is how is that preventing your atmosphere from being family friendly?
So you see how small that sign is?
Right.
When I used to go to the mall I used to go to that was torn down since then, it's become something else now. There was kind of one of these, but it was on the side of the wall. So if you're just walking straight forward, not even paying attention to like the side of the wall, you have no fucking clue it says prohibited weapons and stuff like that in there.
And look at the wording on the door.
Yeah. Choose your weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, little balls.
Well,
big
that
balls.
and like here in Texas, they may have like 30 odd. They may have like 30-06 on the door or whatever, and then they act like, oh, that means everything. No, that only means specific things. If you want it to encompass everything, it's got to be 30-5, 6, and 7. I've seen some that have 6, or some have 6 and 7, but 5 is for constitutional carry. So just because you have a fucking statue up doesn't blanket all of it, you know.
Yeah. I know one of my favorite stores has a no gun sign up. I don't even go there anymore.
So
well, if it's
like
not
to.
backed up by a statute, it's non-enforceable.
Yeah.
No, but here's
Granted,
the
it
thing. I
private
don't want to
property.
give them. I don't want to give them my money. Period.
True.
If they're gonna have that up.
Yeah.
If you don't support the Constitution, you don't get my money.
One of the people for GOA last year.
What happened? Uh-oh, I think you froze.
Was talking about how 94% of mass shootings occur in gun-free zone. Either way, like it's a fuck ton.
You froze.
Yeah, it was talking about 94% of mass. It was talking about 94% of mass shootings, according to GOA, occur in gun-free zones as of last year, which I thought was 97.8%. So I don't know if my stats wrong or theirs is. But either way, it is what it is. That's still a lot, though. 90+%, all happening in places where you can't carry legally.
Yep.
Yeah,
actually,
it's just like it's creating
the
targets. That's all it is.
Yeah, the gun shop I went into today to go buy some stuff at, they actually have a big ass sign on their doors that split apart there, and it specifically says, "Carry on premise. You're cool to carry on premises. Just keep it holstered." Or something along those lines. It's like a longer phrasing than that, but that's like the gist of it. It's like, yeah, just keep it in your pocket. Or
one of my gun stores has a very confusing sign, and I had to ask them what exactly you meant, because it says when you it was when you bring in a firearm, it must be loaded. Like, it doesn't say when you bring in; it just says firearms inside and have to be unloaded, or something very vague bullshit. So it's like, you want me to you say I can carry, but it has to be unloaded. What's the purpose? But it turns out they're just referring to when you're trying to sell or pawn.
Yeah.
It has to be unloaded.
Yeah,
but
it should have been two separate
where
signs.
It can mean any of it.
Yeah, because that was the one thing with this place too. Like, they had another second sign on their door before that had some stuff like that on it, where it was like, if you're gonna bring a gun in, like, make sure it's unloaded and in a case. Pretty much is what it was. Because they actually had to put the in a case at one point, because I guess there was people that literally walked in there with like shotguns and ARs and stuff like that to sell them, and they're like, "Bro, go back outside, put that shit in the case, bring it back in." So, yeah, it's interesting, to say the least. Then we had this one coming out of Washington. Angus King, assault weapons a problem, but ban is more about the looks of the gun. Exactly. So Thursday's broadcast on MSNBC, Senator Angus King, independent from Maine, stated that while assault weapons are a problem for sure, restrictions on them are more about the looks of the gun than its operation. King said assault weapons are generally not used for hunting. First of all, there's no such thing as assault, you fucking dumbass. Number two, ARs and stuff are used for hunting in a lot of cases, and even still, it's not even the fucking point of the fucking matter, because they're not meant for hunting unless you're talking about hunting tyrants. Says real gun-related problem here is the necessarily the gun itself, but the high-capacity magazine. Okay, so he's trying to go after magazine bans, and it sounds like. Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
I like Daniel's comment. He said, "I think gun stores should have signs that say stay strapped or get clapped." George Washington, probably. That's how it needs to end.
Yeah. Ben Franklin after being hit by the lightning bolt. And then we got, obviously, dipshit Kamala calling for Australia-style level of confiscation after her and Biden left, what was it, $20 billion worth of firearms for Hamas in Afghanistan 2 years ago?
Well, it wasn't just firearms. It was ammunition.
I know,
I'm
I'm specifically saying, like, just that amount for that kind of money is what it would be then.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is during luncheon attended by Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese on Thursday. Harris condemned the shootings in Lewiston, Maine, and pointed to Australia's gun control as a path to a better way, except for the fact that all it did was empower more criminals to target defenseless civilians after the fact. I love how they're talking about mandatory buyback. Well, first of all, you don't buy back something you never owned, and claiming it's mandatory is just gun confiscation with more steps.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like how, what was it? New Zealand did that shit like, what was it, 2-3 years ago now? After Christchurch?
Yeah.
And
like
what's happened since then? You've had the lockdowns happen. You had them going to severe crazy shit there.
Well, not everybody turned in
tyranny.
Their guns. It was only like a small percentage. God. And if they made it mandatory here in the States, it would just be like when they did the whole register your pistol braces. It was only like a couple of percentage that actually did it.
Well, even in the thing with Illinois, where they were talking about people registering their stuff there, it was only like 0.8% of the people that actually did so. So it was less than 1% of the people that actually own the stuff.
Yeah.
They were like, here it is. So, yeah. The thing that really pisses me off the most, actually, and I've seen this with both what happened there in Australia in the 90s and then also with, I think it was either London or it was United Kingdom or something back in the day when they did their bans decades ago, like 80s, 90s. And you had people giving up like $4,000 and $5,000 like custom shotguns and stuff that were like this cool. It was like cool ass side by sides that had like all kinds of crazy inlay on the barrels and stuff like that. And it was literally a collector's piece. It was a wall hanger. And they were like, "No, you got to give it up, bro, because it could function at some point."
Well, see, that's one thing that pisses me off. How they sit there and want to reference Australia and their buyback and everything like that. What they fail to mention is not everyone participated in that. And again, it was only a percentage of the population that did it. And the ones that didn't do it, I don't know. They probably hid their shit. I don't know. Because I know they did find that one guy's stash here recently where it was under the floor in a secret room that he built. There
was another one actually here in America. In the last couple of years, it was somebody who bought a house, and I forget what state it was, but it was like one of like the hotter states or whatever, like Arizona or something maybe. And I think they were trying to dig. It was either they were digging up a broke pipe or what. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but yeah, they found an old duffel bag that was like buried in the ground, and pulled it open, and it was all kinds of like rusted out stuff that was banned during the '94 assault weapons ban here. Like it was basically it was Tech 9s and like Mac 10s and shit like that, but they were all like rusted and just completely useless now. Actually, let's see if I can go find that story real quick.
But yeah, it just they want to tout that Australia was 100% success on gun buybacks, or like New Zealand when they tried it. Obviously, it wasn't.
Okay, found the story. It was from 2 years ago. Yeah, it was Phoenix, Arizona. Yeah, Phoenix homeowners find bag of guns while digging in backyard. Yeah, so it was like a busted up AR. another different, like Daewoo or something, couple Mac 10s or Mac 11s.
They must be anti-gun.
Yeah. Yeah, so Phoenix homeowners were digging
Such
a
a
hole.
shame.
Hole for a tree in their backyard when they made an unexpected discovery. Residents found a duffel bag filled with several rusted rifles and handguns, according to Phoenix police. Said homeowners turned over the firearms to detectives who will determine whether they were used in crimes. Police don't know yet how long the guns were buried underground. Well, it looks like decades, honestly. And ironically enough, that was legitimately the stuff that was banned during the original AWB at 94. So it makes sense that somebody buried the shit for to go find later, and either then died after the fact, or it was something where they had their house sold or whatever or something and forgot they were there.
Mm-hmm.
Which, honestly, you don't. First of all, you don't take shit and bury it in a duffel bag. If you're going to do that stuff, you do it smartly, man. You put it in a tube of some kind to where it can be sealed off from the elements.
Yeah. Or
I think
vacuum
So it's not
sealed.
going to be all rusted out.
Yeah, and I think you also have to wrap it in wax paper when you put it in the tube, because depending on what the tube made of, it can still sweat inside the tube. And I guess like the wax paper absorbs the moisture or some shit like that, or just keeps the gun protected.
Yeah.
Something like that.
But obviously the people that dug that hole are anti-gun, because if you dig it in your backyard and you find something like that, my first inkling is not going to go blab about it.
Yeah, well, here's another one. Homeowners nerve-wracking finding buried guns in their garden.
Yeah. I mean, maybe if I was at that condition, maybe I would have did the same thing. Because, like, you don't know if those guns have, like, bodies on it.
Yeah.
Some shit. Enough. And plus, it's not working.
I'll tell you who's really pissed, honestly, is the people that threw their murder weapons into the Chattahoochee River there in Tennessee and stuff. Because there's one of these guys that does a bunch of diving down there and stuff. And he's legitimately found like 75 murder weapons now in the last 3 or 4 years.
Damn.
Yeah. And they're like, it's like every couple of days now, they're like, the cops are like, hey, dude, here's some money. Go find us another murder weapon.
Yeah, there's one kid that's famous for doing that. He dives and cleans out the rivers and waterways and shit, and he finds guns occasionally. Yeah. I remember he's made the news too. I don't remember if it was Ohio or one of those forgotten states over there.
But the way you get those magazines back working.
And he actually got arrested for calling the police about a gun.
Jesus. Yep, typical law enforcement. When actually their job is what it is. It was one of their
or got a ticket or something for cleaning the river. I don't know. He got in trouble for doing the right thing.
Probably just changed the spring in those magazines.
Yeah.
Maybe grind it a little bit.
You could easily sand them down and, refinish them.
All right, I might keep the magazines, but look, it's just the guns. No mags in them, but just the guns.
Well, this is interesting. Now they're alleging that the dude who did this massacre in Maine attacked bar during Deaf Cornhole event night, started hearing voices after receiving quote-unquote high-powered hearing aids. Yeah, this shit gets more
like
fishy.
Some made-up shit.
Yeah, it's just like either people are fishing for everything, or it's like the plot's just getting more and more like, yes, this is a government psyop. This is how it happened.
How the hell are they going to know that he got hearing aids and he's hearing voices when they haven't caught the son of a bitch yet?
Maybe that was what he told him that 2 weeks when he was in the thing back
in that's if it's the right person.
Yeah, true.
I still don't believe it's the person in question that was in the surveillance video.
Yeah. Well, they got Coast Guard searching waters after Maine massacre suspect's boat goes missing. Note is discovered at his house.
Like we said the other day, and Daniel even said again in this chat, he could have offed himself in the woods, and
he probably did.
Found his body.
Well, Antifa striked Ohio, apparently, when it came to crazy shit. This
Well,
guy's
that is their
100% too, by
home.
the way.
I mean, it's
Ohio
home of
man
Pridewater.
pleads guilty to attempting to burn down church that was planning to host drag shows. Yeah, this guy is not a 3%er. He's not fucking Proud Boys. He's a fucking leftist idiot. So,
Wouldn't doubt it.
it's just them attacking themselves was a false flag yet again. Fake hate crime, whatever we're going to call it at that point. Just like dipshit Casey Weinstein, state rep, that hoaxed himself that one day after he was pushed for mag bans a few years ago. Was never laid charged, though. Never even talked to about it, but yet I get fucking talked to about stuff.
Rules for thee, not for me.
Exactly. This one I thought was pretty interesting, actually. We're going to talk about this story here for a couple minutes, which is Georgia's lieutenant governor wants to pay teachers an extra $10,000 a year to carry guns in schools. So Georgia Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones is proposing that teachers in the state be paid an extra $10,000 to carry guns in schools. The idea is that it will prevent school shootings, or at least give people in schools a fighting chance if a shooting occurs in them. It has been suggested in other places in recent years, but it's not a bad idea. A shooter might think twice if they know staffers in a school are armed. I mean, maybe.
Right, maybe. I don't.
Yeah, Ledon still says he's still saying it's weird how there's little to no video or photos of this crazy guy in Maine during his crime spree.
Yeah.
But we got a couple of still pictures from a surveillance video, but nothing else. There's no cell phone footage from bystanders, or there's no videos coming out of bystanders that happen to be filming that saw or heard it and freaking out. There's nothing other than what they're reporting.
If you want to join the panel, Led, I sent you a link yesterday, and I just sent you one like a minute ago. So, but yeah, it's just all kinds of insanity, honestly. I think we're just going to get worse and worse before we ever get anything good to happen again in this country.
Yeah. Sit back and enjoy the show.
If we even survive that long, because
Yeah.
at the rate we're going, dude, this country is going to be gone.
I think the world might be gone. The world is going down. Not just the United States,
Let's
the
see what we
whole
got
fucking
here.
world.
Protesters demanding a ceasefire in Gaza have taken over Grand Central Station in New York City. Oh, so they're pulling January 6th now. Crazy.
Pulling a January 6th again.
Yeah, exactly.
And nothing's going to happen to them.
18,000th time this year since they've done it in all 50 states all throughout the years. What it is.
Yeah.
There. Let's see what we got here.
And if Republicans had hold of the White House, the Senate, and the House,
wow,
are they going to do the same thing, just like the Democrats are doing?
Highly doubtful, but as of less than an hour ago, you have man behind the Harvard truck that drives around displaying the names of anti-Semites at the school had his house raided by a SWAT team. Hamas supporters really don't like it when you call them out. This is Adam Gordati, the man behind the truck, revealed the cops searched his home at 1:30 this morning. Someone had falsely claimed called the police, claiming that he was holding his wife at gunpoint. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
And they got the security code. In the video, the officer put in the guy's house security code.
Yeah.
How'd they get that?
Probably a search warrant from the company. It's like, hey, we got this search warrant. Let us get the number. Or they probably just called and didn't get the search warrant, just like the the fucking safe company.
True.
Did they even get a search warrant for that? Yeah, I don't think they did either, right? They just called and asked.
You know that story you read a while ago, Lace, or I'm thinking of Lead on Steel out in the chat, Ohio. Did you see that? It was like a charter bus, or maybe it was a city bus that was going around. I don't remember if it was DC. I think it might have been DC. Where on the side it had like wanted posters on it, and it was wanted Fauci, wanted Big Pharma, wanted
No, I don't remember that
Kamala. I mean, it had like 5 different wanted posters on the side of it. It was fucking hilarious.
Didn't Honda post it like that or something on his chat?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
Anyway, something the mainstream media doesn't want to talk about, though, which is this story. A white bus driver was murdered by a black passenger in Philadelphia yesterday. The chick in question shot Bernard Gibbons 6 times as she got off the bus. And, of course, the sick-ass pieces of shit in the local media blurred this bitch's face as she was jumping off the bus in security footage, so she couldn't be identified. And it's like, why are you helping murderers, MSM? Like, seriously.
Right, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Wait.
It's just insane.
Wait, how old is it? How old is that person?
She was 20-something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She was older. She was older. She was over 18.
Right.
It's not like it was some 14-year-old teenager shooting the guy and then walking off. No, she was like 22, 23.
Wow.
Just wild.
Definitely.
Not going to show this because it might give me a channel strike, but it's some bitch lady burning the flag of the country that they're overtaking now.
Oh, you can show flag burning.
Yeah, I just don't want to.
Blow as if the right flag burning.
You know, I saw a video earlier today where it was someone down at the border, and that's what it was portraying anyways. And there was a group of illegals that they had stopped, and the illegals had their hands up, and they would stop every single one of them and ask them where they were going.
Yeah, and they're like, small town near you.
Yeah, small town near. Yeah, exactly. One was saying New York, the other one was saying LA, just different places.
There was one yesterday. It was some dude who didn't speak a word of English. He was a African foreign national in Middle America, Georgia.
Yep.
And some dude walked up to him and was like, bro, what the fuck? And yeah, it turns out that they're literally taking these people and just dropping them off in the middle of the night in random ass states like that.
Yeah, they're being flown in.
Maybe they're fighting age male armies and stuff like that. Yep.
And you got the vast majority of people that aren't going to believe that the government's doing this or has a hand in it or whatever. They'd rather stay oblivious.
This one is just sad. And it goes back to the takeovers of a lot of first world nations. German man blinded and disfigured defending girl at bar from Morocco Muslim who was trying to lace her drink with some kind of substance. Oop, don't want to show
that. Jesus. Wait, where did this happen at?
It was in Germany. Yeah, it's a single fateful night. Tony B, 30, saw his life change forever. On the eve of the 30th, he encountered an act of violence that left him disfigured and robbed of his eyesight. What started as an act of bravery to protect a woman from a violent Moroccan Muslim migrant led to a brutal attack that changed his life forever. He's now blinded.
Jesus Christ, that's horrible.
Sad and disgusting.
Man, these days when it comes to fighting, man, you gotta, man, you need to start biting, shit, grabbing testicles, all that shit.
Yeah.
It's no hold bar. I mean, you gotta do street fighting.
Then we got Asian American residents in Brighton Park, Chicago, are furious about illegal aliens coming to their neighborhood. 87% of the area voted for Biden in 2020.
And that's why I work at in Brighton Park.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all the Asian ladies that are pissed now, Leo.
Yeah,
Asian tang, man.
if I happened to be somewhere where I was unable to be armed, obviously I wouldn't unless I had to.
I think I've seen that lady.
Probably. Wouldn't be surprised.
Eye gouging, fucking kick to the balls, punch to the throat. I'll grab a dude by the junk and just fucking just yank with all my might.
Yeah, she looks like the type that would be like, I am so ashamed about what's going on here.
Right.
Why are you doing this to our neighborhood? Yeah, that's a lot of people, though.
And Brighton Park is mostly Mexican.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's like a lot of Latinos there in that.
Yeah.
Part, so. Yeah.
But it's a lot of them that's illegal are not Mexican that's coming in, so they probably don't like that either.
Yeah, they're all the fourth world now.
Yay!
Let's see. Trying to get past things that would actually give me channel strikes here. What the fuck is that? So apparently an alligator fucked some kind of a fish, and this is the result.
Looks like the alligator pufferfish.
Yeah, that shit looks fucking nuts.
I want one.
I feel like they are just dropping Pokemon into our real world at this point, honestly.
Yeah,
because that thing makes
love it.
Like I can see that being like the first evolution of something else, where it like that starts out as that, and then like the final third evolution or fourth evolution or whatever it is like some crazy ass like dinosaur alligator hybrid or whatever at the end.
That's one of those things you want to love it, pet it, and call it George.
Rock.
Right. Call it George.
Found your Halloween costume for this year, Corey.
No, I don't celebrate Halloween.
Just me fucking with you.
I don't think Corey head can fit in that.
Probably not. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, as somebody was asking, what happened to real music? This is what Gen Z is looking up to, and it's that idiot Sexy Red.
She's pro-Trump, though.
Brown. Is she?
Yep.
I mean, she's also dumb as a box of rocks. It doesn't mean anything, honestly.
Well, no, she has one. She has one thing good going for her.
Yeah. A bunch of money.
Even though pro-Trump being pro-Trump is, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's half and half. It's a good thing and a bad thing. Sometimes I can't stand Trump either.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I've been watching a lot of these podcast clips recently.
Yeah.
These chicks are just like beyond help at this point. Like this girl's basically trying to justify whoring, and it's like, how the fuck are you gonna try and justify being a whore?
Hey, we need whores. It's kind of justified.
I mean, I understand, but I mean, Jesus, you were like 19, 20, 22, something like that. Like, fuck, man. You should be wanting better for yourself at that age.
No. It'll hit her when she hits 30. Like, damn.
Yeah. Oh, well, then it's way too late.
Yep. No, there'll be a sucker out there. If there's a sucker out there that's waiting for her to settle down and for her to just DM me. I'll give her my number. You know?
Yeah. I don't know if I'd go that far. I prefer a girl who's not used up by the entire carousel at that age.
Sometimes you got to get what you can get.
Yeah, but you should want better for yourself, man.
My standards change by the month.
Did you guys see that crazy shit where Tim Pool had Sean Keeker's ass on the other day?
No.
I was watching some of the clips. Oh my god, man. That chunk guy is out of his mind, basically.
Oh, we've known that for years. What'd they say?
He was basically, well, first of all, he was trying to be like, he was shit talking white people legitimately, and trying to be like, talking about like George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery and stuff like that, and being like, well, these extreme cases are what people in your audience want to justify, things or whatever the case be, and prove that like the anti-white racism out there really does exist or whatever. It's just like it's just nonsense. It sounds like a 5-year-old child just throwing a temper tantrum, honestly.
Well, shit, that's what they all sound like now.
And then
that's what they all.
The one was him basically justify the Chaz and like domestic terrorism, basically from Antifa. Including there's only like 2 Antifa in all of Portland or something like that, when there's obviously like thousands.
Wow.
Yeah, here's another one from a few hours ago of Chunk's dumbass talking, which is that brother wins in a landslide. Sean Keeger argues that Arnold Schwarzenegger would defeat Donald Trump for the Republican presidential nomination. Good God. Well, first of all, Schwarzenegger can't even run legally, just like this idiot Chunk can't legally run and is literally fleecing people right now to get campaign donations.
Mm-hmm.
Neither one of them are American citizens. Not to mention the fact that Schwarzenegger, not a lot of people know this, but literally his father was a Nazi SS soldier, and he praised the motherfucker for decades until he realized, like, oh, you mean people don't like the fact that my father was a Nazi SS soldier? It's like, no, motherfucker, we don't. Fuck you.
I don't know if this is true or not, but you know what I heard what Arnold's last name stands for in German?
Probably pile of shit or something.
No. Schwarz is German for black.
Uh-huh.
And the last half of his last name is the N-word.
That's too much, man.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how true it is, but I heard that the other day, and I was like, "Oh Lord, have mercy."
Oh, I found the clip you were talking about earlier, Corey, of all the foreign nationals being lined up and being like, "Oh, where are you going?"
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I see that.
It's like Baltimore, and then it's like some other place, and then some other place, and then some other small towns and stuff like that. And they're just like, "Okay, go on ahead." It's like, really, dude? Come on. Like, it's just, man, it's so irritating.
I think it's time for American law-abiding citizens to go down and secure our own fucking borders.
Yes, very much so.
Nope, we're too pussy. We're too pussy for that. We could have did that a long time ago, but nope. I think it's a wrap. It's over with, if you ask me. Maybe I'm sounding like a defeatist, but
yeah.
I know Abbott's supposedly been building the wall, but I don't know how much has built. I don't know how much money he's got left, if he's really even doing it, because it's easy to, post a video of back when they.
Corey clicked out.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, the wall still won't be as deep enough and as high enough and not as thick enough. I don't think the wall would do anything. Unless it's a gigantic wall that goes thousands of feet into the ground and 1,000 feet into the air.
Well, that's why it needs to be manned. And you need to have fucking ground penetrating sonar or whatever to check for tunnels.
Right. Which
Just
takes
because I don't
money.
like to always go full. Everything is terrible. We got this cute little thing right here, baby and a dog. First Halloween, and the dog in its little pumpkin
That's funny.
costume.
Huh.
So, yeah,
The pumpkin bandit.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to be
Break up
having
the
a little bit
monotony.
of faith. Yeah. I mean, obviously everything else is terrible, but yeah, for the most part, that's just a nice little thing to have. Yeah.
Hey, and if they do build, and if they do build a wall, the guard should be called the Night's Watch.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And it should be somebody named Stark.
Right.
That's the leader.
So, GOP Congresswoman officially proposes amendment to cut top Biden officials' salary to $1.00. I like it.
Yep.
Yep.
So that should be.
Mm-hmm.
Will it happen though?
Let's got a question. He
No.
says, for the ones that carry 38 special, what defensive rounds do y'all use?
Don't carry 30 special.
I think it wasn't.
Extreme penetrator.
Wait, who's carrying the 38?
Let on still. He wants to start carrying one.
We said for the panel, the one that carries a 38 special. Do any of y'all carry a 38 special?
No, I think he meant for the ones that carry.
There's a secondary since it's colder. Can easily carry 2 pistols.
Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, do what you want to do, man. I mean, I have no experience with the shit. You know, my advice would be find somebody that's carried for years like that, and ask their advice of what they think is the best round for it.
I thought about it as 40. I think my next purchase after that probably will be a revolver, just to have a revolver in my collection.
Yeah, you gotta have one. I've got 2. They're both Taurus 85 38 special, and right now I have just regular ammunition in it. I don't have any carry loads, just because I don't carry to have other ones to carry. But I do like those. What are they called? Extreme penetrators. The fucking Yankee talks about them all the time. They're really good.
I don't have my gun shop. I seen like a cheapy arms core. I was gonna buy it.
Yeah. As long as it's not too much. The arms core, I don't know much about. I know they're a little bit lower quality. The Taurus 85s that I got, obviously they're 5 shots, but they were only $250 each, so $500 total.
Yeah, it was just a little cheapy. Okay.
One I got from my local gun store, and the other one I went to Bud's, and they have that e-gunner section, which is an auction site, and I won it off there for $250.
Yeah, apparently these Underwoods are
Underwood,
solid
thank you.
copper, precision CNC machine design.
I'd say go Underwood. I've heard that's the best, even in 357 Magnum. You know. The Underwood Extreme Penetrators.
Yeah, these look like they're pretty interesting. They got a crazy bullet design here.
Mm-hmm. Randy says, Randy Butternubs. He likes to butter his nubs.
There's apparently ballistics
good.
testing right there on YouTube here showing the difference between that and like other loads. So,
yeah.
I'm obviously not going to show it, but there's a video out there that talks about 38 plus P snub nose ballistic gel testing. So, yeah.
My recommendation would be the Underwood. Is it a lead on steel? Is it a snub nose or what length is the barrel? Because I love both of mine. I have the snub nose, and then I have a 3-inch barrel. And what's funny is, like I said, I bought both of mine. One was here in Texas, and the other one came from wherever the hell Bud's is at. And they're within like 2,000 serial numbers. So they're very close together in serial number.
So this dude's ammo test, it was a Remington HTP.
Those are good too.
And then something else. And he actually said the HTP was actually better quality than the Extreme Penetrators were.
Really?
So, yeah. I don't know. But apparently, according to what was said here in this post on X/Twitter, said, did you know that before she was vice president, Kamala Harris was hoeing around red carpets with celebrities trying to get some clout? Here she is with Montel Williams in 2001.
Yeah, we all.
Yep, I remember that.
The ones that care to know the truth. We know she was fucking dicking around.
Yep. She was also a hooker in a strip club.
Yep.
So apparently, I guess Tim Pool is producing a Lauren Southern documentary pretty soon about 2A. Looks pretty cool, actually. It has Brandon Herrera and a bunch of other gun people in
it. Grabby says Willie Brown smiling somewhere.
Yeah. Actually, here's an interesting fact about Willie Brown. That dude was actually mayor of, I'm trying to think which place it was there in California, when Jim Jones created Jonestown. And he was actually a friend of Jim Jones. He almost went to Jonestown, apparently, from my understanding. And the reason that I bring that up is because I'm pretty sure we're pretty close to the Jonestown Massacre anniversary. Yeah, November 18th will be the 78 45th anniversary. So yeah, that place was, man. Count Dankula did a great video on that recently about just what a shit show it really was and how psychologically fucked Jim Jones was and how he tried to psychologically fuck everybody else too. And would basically just like, he did like all kinds of crazy psychological shit to these people. Like he would like sleep deprive them like crazy because that was a good way to keep people under wraps and shit. Like most
and brainwash them.
And then he would actually, there was like, I guess, an older woman there who was kind of ugly. And he would basically make a bunch of dudes fuck her, is what it was. And then eventually she ended up having a kid that she didn't think she was going to have. So, yeah, just some wild shit, man. And then, of course, we all know what happened in the actual massacre when you had, that senator guy go there and was like, yeah, I'm gonna take some of these people out of here with me, and they're like, no, you're not. And then it was like bang bang at the airport, and then everybody drinking the Kool-Aid at the actual place. Then,
Yeah.
So terrible, terrible day in history, man.
What happened? Did she sell her soul or what? Because you showed that picture of Camel Toe Harris.
Yeah.
One of the most infamous sluts around.
Mm-hmm.
Was she, not saying she's all that good looking anyways, but she seemed like she was a little more attractive in that picture than she is now.
Yeah. Probably.
Maybe she just got, rode too many times.
I mean, there's a lot of those people that will do things like that. And the thing is, like, it's not even like I mean, if you start looking at, like, we're going to go down this road and talk about satanic rituals and stuff, there's a lot of these people that will get fame. And what happens is it's like, it's almost like a ritual cleansing, I guess is what they call them or something. And it'll be somebody in their family that basically gets sacrificed. Like, you'll have a lot of these rapper types get famous or whatever. And then, like, it's like a month or two later, all of a sudden, like, one of their cousins gets killed in a drive-by or something. And it's like ritualistic sacrifice for their fame and fortune. By offering up a member of their family to do that happen. So
I don't know how that shit works because, I'm a Christian, so I don't fuck with that.
Well, that's
shit.
just things I've heard, obviously, and like
do they pick the person or is it just picked for them?
I have no idea. As far as I'm aware, it's just like bloodline. It has to be like blood related or something like that to them. So,
I don't know how someone
how true that is.
Soul.
I don't know if that's true at all or not, but like that's just stuff I've heard honestly over the years from people that are like, we'll go down those rabbit holes is what it is. So who knows if it's true or not, but yeah, it's interesting though, because then you start looking at who all has fame like that, and yeah, there's connections between a lot of these people like that that'll be like, music famous and have had like, random people that are family members, like first, second, third cousins, whatever it is to them, killed in random drive-bys and stuff. So yeah, very, very fishy shit for sure.
No doubt.
But anyway.
Led said, if you think her face is bad, you ought to imagine how bad her knees are. I said, yeah, she probably needs bilateral knee replacements by now.
I don't know if you guys saw this video or not. It's this guy talking about how his daughter won't be drafted. And he's basically just discussing like, oh, like I'll go to war with the government before my daughter gets drafted.
Yes, I've seen this video, and I believe most Americans can agree with him.
The thing is, though, he keeps saying daughters, but he doesn't say anything about sons, and it's like pretty sure sons would also be included in that with your daughters, dude. Like
he may not have any sons.
I know. Yeah. What I'm saying is, in general, it's like he should have added his sons in there too. He's like, our sons and daughters will not be taken by the government, basically.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it's like it's really interesting, and it definitely is one of those situations that needs to be, talked about more.
I said before, I'd volunteer as tribute. Take me instead of my son.
I'd say take nobody. I'm not leaving U.S. soil. Fuck them.
But I'd rather go in my son's place because he's my only child, and he's the continuation of my bloodline. So take me instead. Because
with so many nutty females that are teachers now in their 20s banging teenage students, Missouri teacher Ricky Lane Lee, 24, faces 20 years in prison for sending news to a 16-year-old student and then inviting him over for sex while her husband was away.
And they always married for some reason.
Yeah, it's like the I don't know if it's like the Mary Kay Letourneau effect or what the fuck it is, because it all started with her ass, honestly.
I think it's a power thing.
It's just weird.
Yeah, it's disgusting, but honestly, could you imagine being that age again and, you're banging your, a couple of your hot teachers?
Should be pregnant.
First of all, I never had hot teachers. That was the problem.
Oh, I had a couple.
Old women.
Oh, I had a couple, yeah.
No, I never had any. Like, the only young teachers in my school were a bunch of dudes. Never had any good-looking females. My teachers was always like 50, 60-year-old women, basically, and I'm just like, nah, I'm good.
Oh no, we had
Mrs.
this one.
science teacher. Man, I wanted to bang her.
Same. I had a science teacher too. She would always do the fucking Sharon Stone leg split in the middle of class because she had always sit up front on a stool, and she would fucking flash her panties to the class, and yeah, all the fucking kids wanted to be in that class and
Are
wanted
we
her.
sure she was wearing panties, Corey?
A couple times she was because they were obviously bright colors, but there was a couple times that were very questionable.
Mm-hmm. And was she ever picked up because she was banging one or two of the male students?
Maybe. I don't know. That was the only year I remember her being there.
Uh-huh. That makes more sense now. So, yeah.
But God, she was fine as hell.
Then going back to idiot Sean Cougar falsely claiming, most of the domestic terrorists in America right now are right-wingers. Tim Pool and Sean Cougar debate FBI stance on domestic terrorism. This is like a 4-minute clip from Tim Pool's cast the other day. God, Chonk is a fucking idiot.
Yep.
I would even go as far as to say there's more people in this country right now that are not American who are terrorists than there are right-wingers. I'm not going to show this clip, but I don't know if you guys ever saw. I'll just do a little screen cap. Here's what it is. Of this dude who's waiting in an auto parts store. The dude puts up the pole. It smacks him in the foot. Dude puts it back up, and then it smacks him in the head.
Yeah. I think Honda played this on the after chat.
Yeah, I'm not gonna show it right now. I mean, I might show it in the after chat, but yeah, I'm not gonna show it on film right now. So anyway, apparently UFC is now bringing back Bud Light for some retarded ass reason.
Money.
Yeah, probably.
For the mumness.
Seems kind of stupid, honestly, either way. And of course, you got all the drag queens in the military now.
Oh yeah, I watched those videos.
Shit's disturbing, man.
Yeah, when they do the transformation.
It's sad because if we went to war right now and we got a lot of them types in the military, they would literally probably throw their guns down and run the opposite direction, screaming bloody murder.
I just spilled a bunch of Cheetos all over the floor.
They would be at basic boot camp and are like, "What do you mean I need to have a gun to practice with? I'm anti-gun."
Right.
I mean, to be honest though, the servicemen need something to fuck on while they're lonely. So
yeah.
I saw one the other day where this dude literally joined the military so he could have the government pay for his sex change operations and his plastic surgery to make him look more feminine.
Yeah.
And that's such bullshit and it's disgusting and infuriating because we're paying that.
Exactly.
But I would honestly love to be a fly on the wall if they instituted a draft tomorrow or whenever they do it and they draft a lot of these fucking very young millennials and Gen Zs and stuff. The ones that are saying, oh, they can't draft us, blah, 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 you know, this, that, and the other. And you throw someone in that's like fucking a badass drill instructor that doesn't give two shits about their feelings anymore because we're in a time of war and they got to make soldiers and they're forced to fucking either, you know, grow up and realize that, you know, the world doesn't revolve around them or
they wouldn't get past basic anyway.
They wouldn't have a choice. It's either that or
even
jail.
Even if you lower the standards, if you keep lowering the standards, they still probably won't make it past basic.
I really want to show this clip, but we're not on a Rumble, so I'm not going to because it's literally gun mags being changed like crazy in the military. But it's talking about how we lowered the standards so much, and you have all these young kids that are just like shaky hands.
Yeah. I think he froze again.
Can't get their shit changed over in quick.
Yeah, he froze again.
All right, am I back then?
Yeah.
Back.
Okay, my shit's still low. Okay. Yeah, I was saying I want to show this video, but I'm not on Rumble. I'm not going to risk channel strikes because a bunch of guys changing mags in the military, and it's basically talking about who knew decades of lowering standards and running off all experienced leadership would have these consequences, and it's these guys that can't even change the fucking mag over in quick
I
time.
thought you can show that now.
I don't think so, and I'm not going to risk it, Corey.
Well, true, because I know like Demolition Ranch, he was talking about that before, and how you couldn't insert a mag on screen anymore, and he's done it. They were like, "Oh, you can't screw on a suppressor," and he's like, "Oh, they changed their mind, and you can do it now." And he's been doing it.
Depends on mostly the bigger channels they won't fuck with, but my channel they would definitely nuke.
Probably, but it's hard to keep track because they say you can't do it, then you can do it. You can't do it, you can do it.
Well, that's the whole point. Though, what's the same thing with fucking Facebook? There was something I posted there like a year ago, and they're like, "Oh, this is totally against our policies." Then, like 6 months later, mind you, they give me like a month, for that. And it was like 6 months later, they're like, "Oh, it turns out we didn't actually have that be against our rules now. We're not going to take your shit back, though." And then the same thing, they give me another channel strike for like a month and a half after that, then for another month. It's like, fuck y'all, man. And of course, we got the good old two-tier justice system strikes again with piece of shit Jamil Bowman reached a deal to have the charges cleared by paying a literal like $1,000 ticket for pulling a fire alarm instead of going to jail for 6 months.
He should be in jail for 6 months.
He should be expelled from Congress over this shit too.
Well, that too.
Fucking ridiculous.
Well, that's like I've said a couple times here recently when they had the vote to oust McCarthy as Speaker of the House. Mm-hmm. There was someone during the fucking count that literally said somebody needs to pull a fire alarm because he done set precedents and did it, and he's going to get away. So now they're going to keep doing it to get away and just to stop a vote because they don't agree with it. If he would actually get penalized, kicked out of Congress and serve 6 months in jail, this shit wouldn't happen again. We need consequences.
Yeah, we do, very much so. But that's the problem. We don't have that kind of stuff, and they don't want us to have that kind of stuff, because if we did have that kind of stuff, it would mean actually getting rid of these fuckers once and for all.
Because honestly, how long until someone else does it?
Yeah.
Now, with him getting us a pat on the hand.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be another Democrat doing it in 6 months or so.
If then.
Okay, I gotta give this one to Kevin Sorbo. If pencils were regulated like guns, legal, illegal, legal, technically a golf tool, legal or illegal depending on most recent Bureau of Pens, Pencils, and Paper letter, meaning ATF letters. We got legal unless you're in California, Maryland, Maine, New York, New Jersey. Then it becomes an unregistered ghost pencil. And then legal except in states that ban high-capacity lead-feeding devices.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That's
so
epic.
True.
It is.
So true. So
that's great.
Said, if we make guns illegal, then nobody will get shot anymore. That's how we stop everybody from doing drugs. Exactly. Oh, that's definitely an assault pencil right there.
Oh, yeah. Even I'm scared of that.
Honestly, the front of that kind of looks like it's like a 22 or something in there.
Is that a Photoshop pencil or is it a real thing?
I don't know. Let's see what this person says. It says this would be an assault pencil with an extended ink reservoir, laser guided autocorrect as you write. Tiro 15 with bump stock. Is that actually a thing?
I don't know. That looks fake. Right. But it also looks kind of like one of those what are they fucking called?
I don't know.
You like melt plastic with them and delete or not and build shit with them.
3D printers? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a 3D printing pen, is what it looks like.
Yeah, I can see that. Because that would make sense. Okay, yeah, nothing of substance on that one then.
Sorry, it's been a long fucking day and I'm exhausted. And my
Why
brain's
does a
not-
rabbi own Pornhub? That's a damn good question. Why does a rabbi own
Because it
Pornhub?
makes money. Get it?
You know that they finally told Mia Khalifa to go fuck herself a couple weeks ago, right?
I saw that.
Because she went
Who,
all pro
Pornhub?
Hamas and shit. Yeah, she went all pro Hamas, and they're like, "Yeah, we know you have a channel here that makes money for us, but guess what? We're taking all your profits and we're going to send them to some like Israel
Wow.
defense fund thing or whatever the case be, or like for people's relocations or whatever it's going to be there." And it's like pretty sure she has a lawsuit against you guys for that one for illegal theft of funds and stuff. Especially if you made a contract with her and shit. Because you're breaking contract, obviously.
Right. Or is it that, or is it that they taking their percentage that they made off the video and donating it?
As far as I'm aware, it was every profit that would have gone to her was taken and then sent over to this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that.
it definitely seems like some shady shit happening there.
Well, it depends on if she read the fine print or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Fine print is shit gets
The
you
fact
every
that
time.
she was literally wearing a dog shit covered mask in 2020, I doubt she reads anything.
Well, that's true.
You guys saw that video back then, right?
Yeah. I
No.
saw it.
So she was living in California, obviously. She had gone out to take her dog out. Dog went and took a dump on like some like little sidewalk stoop thing area there. And she was thinking about it. She's looking around like, oh, what am I going to use to pick this up with? Pulls her mask off her face, picks up the dog shit with it, throws it into somebody else's trash can, by the way. Then thinks to herself, oh shit, I don't have a mask anymore and I'm outside or whatever the case be. But technically it's like ordinances or whatever then.
Mhm.
So she's looking at the mask and is like, flips the motherfucker inside out and puts it back on her face.
Oh, yes, I saw that. Yes.
I'm just like, what in the fuck?
That's disgusting. I remember that. Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, it's one of the sickest things I've ever seen in my entire life.
Mm-hmm. Ledon still said, if you like cool knives, check out the Tough Built Reload knife. You put new blades in it by loading a magazine like a pistol. It's awesome. Never heard of
I
it.
think there's a couple interesting, I don't know about that one, but I know I've seen other ones that are pretty cool that have it's like a partial blade on the bottom of them, and you can take them and do you just like swap out the actual blade is what it is, and the first one gets dull and shit. So that's pretty sweet. But yeah, it's just all kinds of crazy shit though, for sure. Ugh. I'm getting acid reflux again from my Barrett's esophagus, so which is not good.
Take some harbor medicine.
Yeah, it's a bunch of different shit, honestly. Let's see. 3 hours ago, Kamala Harris, when confronted about her abysmal approval rating, quote, "Our democracy is on the line. I frankly, in my head, do not have time for parlor games." You are a parlor trick, lady. Legitimately.
We're not a democracy.
Yeah, we're also not a democracy. We're a fucking constitutional republic, but that's besides the point. I don't know. I'm just getting sick and tired of all of it, man.
Led said he sent you a link on Discord.
Okay.
I'm beyond tired of it, and I think most law-abiding citizens are too.
All right. Let me go check out what was said here.
They stopped using lube to fuck us decades ago.
No, they just put it in hardcore, man.
The way I like it.
I'm to the point where it's hard to even feel it anymore. Brunch.
Ew.
So apparently this is like a box cutter is what it looks like.
Well, screen share it for the rest of the audience.
Okay, then. I will then. So, yeah, so apparently you take out one, put in the other, and then it's just like a box cutter that you can keep like shifting out other blades from. That's interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's cool, man. It's by a company called Tough Built.
Very, very interesting.
I assume that would be quite a bit of money, though.
That's neater than a Skeeter's Peter.
I'll throw the actual link in the back chat. That is pretty sweet. Yeah, it looks like there's about maybe 8 or 10 blades in it. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it's some pretty cool shit, I'll tell you that much. Anyway. I don't think they found the guy in Maine yet, so.
Well, they won't until they're ready for the world to find them. To know.
See, 39 minutes ago. See, 36 minutes ago, CNN, manhunt continues for Maine shooting rampage suspect. Officials ID all 18 victims. That was 2 hours ago. Let's see. 16 minutes ago, lockdowns is lifted as manhunt for suspect continues. Because I'm guessing he's probably not in the area anymore, so they're saying there.
If you were in that area, would you
go out?
Go looking for him?
Oh.
Go on patrol?
See, that's the problem, though, because if you go that route, like, who's to say the cops are going to end up killing you?
Well, they supposedly know who they're looking for, so why would they fuck with you? Especially if you're in a gun-friendly state like Texas or...
Really? Only $20? That's interesting.
And they'll find some way to fucking...
hem you up.
Throw some type of charge on you.
Well, see, in Texas, not only do we have constitutional carry, but it's been legal forever, or not forever, but for a very long time that we can open carry long guns. So what are they going to get you on?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what I'm specifically saying is it depends on exactly how you're going to go doing patrol and stuff like that. Because it could be something where they just like, you know, start to like. I mean, hell, what did they do with was HBO Matt? They brought his ass up on a bunch of charges for like random shit for cop watching.
Well, yeah, that's a little bit different scenario than what I'm talking about because you can just be like, I'm patrolling my neighborhood.
They'd probably just tell you to go home.
Well, they can't tell you. I mean,
bounty hunter without a permit.
Yeah, something. Actually, here's an interesting fact because I was looking into that. I was actually looking into bounty hunting here in Ohio. You cannot legally carry bounty hunting.
Really?
Yeah,
I think that's the way in I think that's the way in
most states.
Hawaii too. Yeah.
Yeah, I know dog couldn't. Well, dog was also a person at that point, so that makes sense. But yeah, I don't think you can legally carry in a lot of states. Is what it is when you're bounty hunting, which is kind of stupid, honestly, because it's like, dude, like if my life is in danger because I'm going after some violent ass criminal, like why shouldn't I be able to carry where the fuck I want, whether it be lethal or non-lethal at that point?
Yeah, I think it's state by state because I've seen videos. There's one famous video. I want to say it's happened here in Texas where bounty hunters were after this guy, and I think the police were too. And the bounty hunters, you know, cornered him in some business and ended up in a shootout, and one of them got killed.
Yeah. No, they all got killed.
Was it all of them?
Yeah. I think it was a car shop or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They all got killed. It was, I think, 2 guys and 2 bounty hunters. Yeah, they all end up shooting each other.
Mm-hmm.
I know in Chicago they carry. Bounty hunters in Chicago carry.
Really?
Yeah.
Legally?
Yeah.
I find that hard to believe, honestly, because it's
They came
Chicago.
one time knocking on my door, but they just had the wrong address.
No, I didn't see that, Led. That sucks. Bull from Night Court died.
Oh no!
Really? Oh.
Did y'all? Either one of y'all watch Night Court? I love that fucking show.
Yeah.
I watched the original one. And I tried to watch that new variation that was just stupid.
I was talking about the original one. The original one's the best.
It is.
I fucking love Night
That
Court.
new version is like I don't know want to call it like woke, but it just doesn't. It's just like
no. It
silly,
got woke.
honestly.
One episode, it got real woke. No,
was
with
it
the
halfway
kids.
in, or was it more than halfway in?
It was on the first season. Did you get up to the episode where the
I only watched like the
kids
first like maybe 3 or 4 episodes of the show.
Oh, it's like in the middle,
Yeah, so probably missed that one then. Yeah, like I know that they were doing like some stupid, like they were definitely doing like race swapping shit like usual, and that could be considered like wokeism or whatever. But like, yeah, it's just sort of it. Like to me, it really wasn't anywhere near as funny as the original one anyway.
No, it wasn't.
And that's the problem with so many of these shows. It's like if you're gonna do something that like make it legitimately funny, don't add a fucking laugh track for a half hour and think it's gonna be funny because it's not.
It had its moments, but it just didn't feel.
No, it didn't. All right. So anyway, they released the names and ages of the 18 people that were murdered there in Maine the other day. The youngest one was 14 years old.
Damn.
And then it seems like everybody else was in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s.
That's sad.
Yeah,
sad anyone got died, but especially when a kid, gets cut down in his prime.
Let's see. Yeah, we got Ronald Morin, 55, Peyton Brewer Ross, 40, Joshua Seal, 36, Brian McFarland, 41, Joseph Lawrence Walker, 57, Arthur Fred Shout, 42, Max Hathaway, 35, Stefan Vesela, 40, Max Hathaway was 35, Stefan Vesela was 45. And those are the people that were killed at Schmiggy's. I think that was the bar. And then the just-in-time bowling alley, it was Thomas Ryan Conrad, 34, Michael DeSalis II, 51, Jason Adam Walker, 51, Teresa Allison, 53, William Young, 44, Aaron Young, 14. So that was probably father and son, I'm guessing. Robert E. Veladit, 76. Lucille Veladit, which is obviously his wife, 73. William Frank Brackett, 48. And Keith McNear, 64. So, yeah, terrible. May they rest in peace. May they be next to Jesus in heaven. Because that's where they should be at this point, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, it does say here. Yeah, Bill Young and then his son, Aaron. So, yeah, 44 and 14, respectively. It's terrible. Actually, this local media did go into some... We will show this, actually, because we're going to honor these people's memories. These are the people that should be remembered in this whole thing. Father and son. The Youngs, Joseph Walker, Bob, Tommy Conrad, 34, a manager at the bowling alley, Stefan Velasa and Bill Brackett were both part of the gathering of deaf people playing cornhole at the Barn Grill. Joshua Seal was an interpreter. Let's see, Arthur was, let's see what's this here. So his father said he left the bar about 10 minutes before a gunman arrived, but his son wanted to stay to play more games. Jesus. Let's see. Teresa was also one of the victims in Lewiston on Wednesday night. So records reported she was part-time employee at the bowling alley, but was not working at the time of the shooting. So she's just hanging out, it seems like. See, Peyton Ross, a new father, died in the shooting, according to the local affiliate. Added that he was loved by the community. Too bad, man. Terrible loss, terrible tragedy. And again, this goes back to what we talked about in the beginning of the title of this episode, which is this is why you have to carry every day at all times. Because if you don't, shit like this will happen and you will be a victim instead of actually being able to stop a perpetrator.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to sit here and victim blame because, none of these people really, probably thought about carrying that night, honestly, especially when you had fucking dumbass bowling alley being like, this is a family-friendly gun-free zone. And they just abided by the stupid-ass fucking thing on the door is what it was. Either way, may they all rest in peace. May their families all have a ability to get the justice they deserve. May this piece of shit either be found alive or dead. And may these people finally be able to grieve their loved ones. And what I will say is if there are GoFundMes for these people or Give Send Goes or any kind of thing where people need money for funerals for these individuals, if you can, donate to the funerals. Because that's what people should be doing at this point, honestly. People taken down in their prime, people that were just there having a good time, honestly. So, anyway. But that's pretty much it for the night. We've been here for almost 2 hours. Well, I've been here for almost 2 hours, so I'm getting kind of tired and hungry. And it is going 8 o'clock my time, so I got a few things I got to do real quick. But other than that, any final thoughts, gentlemen?
Carry, and carry. That's all I got to say.
Corey, any final thoughts?
And no Corey.
Corey's making dinner.
No, I'm trying to answer a fucking phone call. My sister won't stop texting me or stop calling me.
Right. Well, final thoughts before we go, then?
What were you saying?
I was going to say final thoughts before we go tonight.
Just the usual, keep your head on a swivel, stay alert, stay strapped or get clamped.
And I will say I will be back tomorrow night with most likely these two gentlemen on the panel. And anybody else that wants to come in for the latest episode of Stand Your Ground Saturday, as long as they don't channel strike me for random stuff. And just to be clear, YouTube, everything that I showed today, as far as I'm aware, is cool to do. Do not channel strike me because I will fight your channel strikes. It's as simple as that, really. So, freedom of speech, all that good stuff. Stop fucking with my freedoms. And, yeah. Be armed, be ready, be your first responder. You are your own first responder.
Mm-hmm.
And never be a victim to anybody being a psycho nut job because the government is a bunch of fucking lunatics and they will let fucking lunatics run wild to do things like this. So,
oh yeah, it's all by design.
Have a good one, y'all. Check us out tomorrow night. We will be on after NEA's Toy Chat around 10:30, whenever the hell that's going to end. So yeah, Stand Your Ground Saturday will be then. We will talk about the latest goings on and if they actually found this guy alive or dead at this point or not. And if we can get more information on these people that died, we will do a full in memoriam with these people, honestly, that are the victims of this piece of shit. So, see y'all later, man.
Yeah.
Later.